Hello everybody. We're going to talk and do a little bit of work today. Just wanted to make a video. I've been seeing a lot of different videos about Mr. Handpay's truth, and then some other, YouTubers and things like that are out making those videos too. On top of it, kind of what they're seeing, and with that, I wanted to give you my opinion. It's only an opinion. It's what I've seen. I by no means gamble with the amount of money. I don't have very many followers on my channel. I'm not trying to really do anything like that. But I'm going to speak on the side of the person that the influencer is going after. I watch gambling videos. When I'm sitting at home eating supper, I'll even turn them down if my wife's watching a movie. So it does influence me on gambling. When I started watching the videos, everybody was gambling kind of what you would think a high bet, but reasonable bets. Now everybody's doing 50, 25, 100, 150, 250, 2,500, 5,000, buying $12,000 bonuses. Some people definitely is getting paid, and it's not their money. But also, in that sense, I would like to tell you to think about it business-wise, that they did have to build that channel with their own money, so they made the investment up front. Any business person, you get cars here for me, for say, I work on a car, and when I'm done with it, I sell it for more money than I paid for it. And the person could say, well, why are you trying to make so much money off of it? Well, I had to tie up $3,000 and, 50 hours and this to get this. And, I did that over a couple months. So you got to make money. It's business. You're in business to make money. So while all this stuff is going around, I do want you to think about that there's business. So in all this, everybody's trying to make money, okay? And so that per se, I'm okay with. But I'm bringing my point as somebody that it got a hold of a little bit. I wanted to gamble more watching those videos. I wanted to bet more watching those videos. So I can speak to that. It's all my opinion. Everything in this video is going to be my opinion. I'm going to tell you what I've experienced. So I experienced wanting to gamble more with watching the videos, which is, the goal, actually, I would say, to the casinos would be the goal to make people want to come gamble because they're in business. Okay? It's not personal. They're in business. So always got to remember that. Always got to remember that, as I think it's Jason. He says after this last video I watched this morning, I still watch the videos, watched it before I came out here to work, and he told the lady, and it was his friend or whatever too, but after they got done doing it, he said, make sure you don't bet that amount. Leave that to me. I appreciate that because she just won $10,000 pretty much, and that bug gets you. Like, I want to make those bets more, and you end up giving it all back. So gambling also has to have some responsibility with that. You have to have self-control, but it's hard to have self-control when you're watching that stuff. It does just kind of make you want to do it. So that's a tricky scenario. Now, as far as some of the other videos I've seen, this was all basically coming out about online casinos, and they're not talking about regular casinos that you go to day to day. And that's kind of what I want to bring up myself to. And when Jason made that truth video and he said deception, deception. I want you to apply that to everything, not just online casinos, and this is all strictly my opinion. You can apply it to politics, you can apply it to land casinos, you can apply it to sports books, you can apply it to, what you call used car salesman, that's just trying to make that buck. There's always going to be deception. That's the name of the game, unfortunately, the world that we live in. Deception is the name of the game. But some of the podcasters are saying that, regular casinos, basically ain't doing that. Now, I would like anybody to comment on the video. Let's discuss it. Prove me wrong. I don't care. I mean, I like the discussion. I like talking to people. A lot of things I have in my theories are what you call conspiracy theories that may or may not be correct. But I know what I've watched. I have personally watched videos or watched the slot machine be shut down. I have personally watched a casino tech go in and there's like a percentage that they can change up and down that I've seen. Now, I don't understand everything. This is my opinion. This is how I think it works. So, a gambling regulatory thing is across the board. It's not per slot machine, is how I feel. I think everybody tries to apply that to per machine, but when you go up and put $100 in the machine, you don't hit nothing. How is that 99%, or 90% or 88%? Look at all the videos where the guys that are betting big put 10, 15, 20,000 in, don't even get a bonus. So my theory is that the regulations would be across the board, that if the casino's taking in this amount, they have to pay out this amount across the board. So you can turn each slot machine up and down. So if you were, in my eyes, and my theory is, if you were a casino and you wanted somebody an influencer to come in and get some good video and get some people to want to come show, and you're going to spend the money, you want good advertisement, you want them to see them winning. So you could simply tell them, every slot machine you can see there's a tag, there's a serial number 1051, 2022, whatever it is. They could simply say, what machines do you want to play? We've got the winnability up on this machine higher than the other machines, okay? I feel like that could happen. So when other places are telling you no, that can't happen, I want to say, and when I say places, I'm meaning like the YouTubers, and I'm not trying to bash anybody. Maybe they don't know. Maybe they haven't seen what I've seen. I don't have many followers. I don't win a lot of money. I did have several good years in a row where they got me hooked when I first got my player's card. It was just, it was kind of boom, 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 and I had several good years, and then now everything, the only time I win is when I don't use my player's card. So that's theories where I hear people go back and forth. And to me, it's like get the points, get the rewards. With the small amount that I bet, you could gamble with $1,000 and get like not even 100, 200 points. It's a lot of places, it's like $5 per point. And if you're not got a big bankroll, those comps really don't mean anything, because it's hard to get me to drive an hour somewhere to gamble for $10 in free play, $15 in free play. I gotta want to go there because I think I'm going to win, and I'm going to at least get to play with my money for hours. I don't mind if I take a couple $100 and I get to play a little bit, and that's what the casinos seems like they've all tightened up. Seems like the wins don't come as often, and you can't play with the amount of money. And I think it's all these newer slot machines, the change in the dynamics, the pay lines, the payouts. That could have something to do with that too. Everything, kind of can have an explanation. And if we talk about it and things like that, we'll at least all get to a majority of the conclusion. If somebody's wrong about this or somebody's wrong about that, you don't go nuts about anything. start bashing people or anything, by no means. You hash it out and be like, look, did you really know that this is what's going on? And do you understand the effect? Like, you're looking at it as your business side, you're going to make money, and I understand you got to do what's best for you. Do you understand by you making money that it's going to do this and affect the people that are following you, and it's going to hurt them in the long run? Maybe that person didn't understand that or didn't think about that, or because money is the root of all evil, and when you throw dollar signs in front of somebody, you don't always think what's best for everybody else. So these are all things that I'm bringing up in that video. Was truly inspirational to me, that he would take his platform, his big platform, and do something like that and risk hurting himself to help people. Now, conspiracy theories, some people that are on the other side, there's always two sides to everything, and somebody's on this side and they say, well, that he could just be trying to get viewers. Yeah, he could. There's always that coulda, shoulda, woulda, but what's the biggest probability, and where's the receipts? And the fact that he brought receipts, just to his point, and I think he was doing it respectfully. I didn't see nothing that's gone on so far. I mean, I haven't really heard too much name calling that I could be concerned about. I know a couple big influencers has commented on it and tried to say, well, we're going to stay out of it. But then you can also watch the videos that they're with and see who they gamble with, compare the other ones to see who they gamble with. So you can see sides being taken on who's gambling with who goes to the casinos. Because if you notice, a lot of the influencers are always at the same casinos. Not always, but a lot of there's cliques and they all go to the same casino. You'll hear them playing in the same high limits room. So, that's just part of it. It's like Hollywood. It happens sometimes. So I'm going to put a brief pause here and grab a couple things and then get on to some extra. All right, everybody, we're back. So we was covering some of the Mr. Handpay, commentary on this and that about what's going on with the deception is what we'll say. So we cover a little bit. You could easily see where the online stuff is going anyhow ahead of time. So grab this here. So we can easily see where the online, gambling influencer stuff, pay that. You can see that ahead of time. You can see how, yes, land casinos are more regulated, definitely. Me personally, the online casino, I do not do any of them. I did some free ones just to play, and you got to buy tokens. To me, it's just too easy to lose your money. It's sort of like sports betting, going into the sports books. It's too easy. It's too easy for me to blow $100 on Sunday. Some people blow way more than that. Just sitting there placing bets, and then you're down a couple bets, and you start chasing just like you do at the casino. It gets you. It's human nature, I would say. There's ways of studying things and understanding how people work and people function that gets you to want to gamble more. So I'm personally staying away from the online gambling because for the reasons, even if you had a good one, that didn't do that kind of thing, I don't know. I don't use them, so I can't really, it's just my opinion. But to me, it's just too easy, so I'm taking that temptation away. I do sportsbook gamble, really actually down, since I started. I had, some good things when I first joined up. They give you the profit boost, the free bonuses, everything to get you hooked. So it's the same way. And then Then before you know it, you might be up, and then you're down into your money now after so long. Sports books, I've got some conflictual things on them. Now, me and my buddy, there's some things where I was watching WNBA, which has been controversy on it, but there was a game that I had some bets on that I would have won had they called the foul and put, Caitlin on the line. I only needed one more point. They fouled her, mugged her, and didn't even call a foul. Those refs were investigated. And there was some stuff going on. I'm pretty, positive online. I don't know if they got fired or fined, but they were investigated, and some fraudulent stuff was to be found. Whether that was for the sports book or was to get on Caitlin because they don't like Caitlin, everybody could say one side or the other on that too. So it's kind of my point that all of them have their own issues. And the deception just goes deep into the rot of this whole organization world type thing. Deception's just everything. So he hit it. He just hit it right head on. And I just think that he didn't want to go further because it does affect him and his business. So you don't want to stay out. He's popular. Stay out. I got nothing to lose to throw my conspiracies out there and have some little bit of back and forth and some comments if people want to. That's fine. I'd like to hear their thoughts. I'd like to see what they've witnessed. Sports book wise, I've seen too many times where a basketball game, I need 2 points and the player doesn't come in at all in the fourth quarter, and they end up losing the game. And it's one of their star players, and they ain't hurt. You know what I mean? Oh, you got a hammy pulled. Oh yeah, you just can't score no more points. We got a text message that says win sports book will lose too much money. Of course, that's my opinion, but we live in a world where that is so easy, that deception to make things happen. Even the deception of not necessarily saying 100% that they do that, send a text message to people, because you can't make it traceable. But it would be very easy that before the game started, if I got a chart that says how much the casino would lose, the sports book would lose. And like I said, this is my opinion. It's almost, if I was going to cheat, how would I cheat? Kind of. That's how I got my opinion there. I have no evidence. I'm not talking about that. I'm just, when I'm watching things and seeing things, it's either that or I'm just purely that unlucky. So, and that being said, a fact sheet, the casino stands to lose this amount of money if this person scores this amount of points. It would be really easy to figure out a system to make that work to where they didn't lose, because it just, like I said, that deception. But the deception in the sports books could also be that, we've run our numbers and we're going to make, and I don't know that the sports book per se sets that, or maybe, something else, but I'm going to give a plus 500 for this or a minus 450 to make it seem like it's going to happen, but we really know that this person's got something going on. There can be deception that way too. So sports books, online casinos, regular casinos has ways of doing things, I think. Have you ever leave a comment, have you ever walked into the casino when there's a drawing going on and the first half of the drawing, basically, you do good. You win a little bit, like first hour and a half, to get you to stay for the whole drawing. Because the study would be, you're coming to the casino to have fun. You're there. I mean, if you're like me, you're going to go. Typically, I never walk out if I just get there. I mean, I'd have to win a lot, and then I've done it once where I won money and I knew I'd give it back if I stayed, so I just left. But if you have a player's card, my theory is on that player's card, they can track your gambling habits. Now everybody says no, that can't happen. I think it can. I mean, I think they know how you gamble, how much you gamble, because I've went and gambled big at a casino that I don't gamble with, where I bet bigger, and they consider it what they call the rate of play, where I don't normally do it, but went with a buddy. We just used my card, so we doubled up on the money. We was there for 2 hours and probably lost $1,000. I don't know, just an example. And they register that rate of play, and then they start to give me more by that rate of play to get me to come back, because they know I will, gamble that amount and probably lose it or whatnot. So there's different ways for deception. You think they're being nice to get you to gamble there. If you won money, they're typically trying to get you back. I want to get my money back. So there's deception that way. He hit the nail on the head when he said deception. The stock market. I'm into one right now, and it's basically a scrap metal type of stock. Now, it's going through a reverse split. Anytime you play in some of this stuff, it's risky, so it's your own. So when they go through a reverse split, now there has to be a pause. Well, that pause didn't happen on my trading platform. I tell you the name of it, but I don't know all the rules and regulations, so I'm not going to get into that because it's a way big company. But the platform traded after hours. Other people, you go onto a stock message board, and there's people that tell you, oh, this stock's going bankrupt, this stock's doing this stock's doing that, because they're shorting it. Deception. They're lying to you. They're taking facts that they have, but placing them and spinning them a different way. Now, what else goes on in the world right now that they do that to? There's other things that's going on in the world that they're doing that to. And you have to go back to bringing the facts, bringing the receipts, like Mr. Handpay did. He brought the receipts. So, that kind of sidegress. But so in this, my trading platform was trading after hours for 1 million some odd shares. Now, I screenshotted this every 10 minutes. So I have a timestamp of this. And then you go onto that stock message board, and they've got posts of their trading platform saying that it was halted. So you got online saying, yes, it was halted. I've got this main platform that the last time that this happened, when you could sometimes sell into one that following, after the split, and take a profit within the first 15, 20 minutes. That same platform, I could not get on for the first 2.5, 3 hours. They were blaming it on volatility and so many people or whatnot. But so that same platform that the last time when I was going to try to sell to make some money, instead ended up losing money. But it is a test for me. I test things certain ways. I don't lose a bunch, but I'm going to try to figure this out. And you got to spend a little bit to figure it out. Just like every one of these influencers had to spend their own money to begin with. So props to all of them that got big. They definitely had to spend their own money to get there. So if they're making money now, they made that investment. They made that gamble, and they profited to them. So I'll give each and every one of them that 100%. The back and forth, I don't care. But, so that's the truth that he hit, head on. But that deception in this stock platform, I'm going to see Monday what happens. There could be lawsuits and stuff involved. This could all be just like that deception, I could say. But I'm documenting. I'm grabbing the receipts like Mr. Handpay did. So in all this, everything in the world today, we see deception. So when I seen that video, I even made a comment into the video. Just take that and apply it to the rest of the world. And the biggest other thing is that this, to all the influencers, and people watching the influencers' videos, it does get you. It does grab a hold of you. It does make you want to play more bigger bets. It does make you want to gamble more, at least in my opinion. So take that in mind, everyone. Hopefully this video, has some views and some back and forth. I'd really like some comments. I'd really like to see and hear what people else has experienced in the world. I know these last 5 years I've gambled more than I ever have in my entire life, and I've lost more than I've ever had in my entire life after winning more than I ever had in my entire life. So I never watched those videos until probably 4 years ago, until I started. Now, they didn't get me to gamble. I gambled and then started watching the videos, so I will give them that defense, but I never gambled big. I always was a big 2-3 better on penny, never really changed denominations, never did any of that until I started watching these videos. So just my own personal experience, no, I didn't go bankrupt myself, but I could be sitting in a lot better spot financially if I had not gambled. I could not have to be here on a Sunday working on something to make some money. So that being said, I hope you all have a good Sunday or the rest of it. I hope this is informational. Give me some comments or something. Let's get a little back and forth going on what you saw, what you think, what conspiracy theory I'm wrong at. Just a little bit of everything. I like to talk. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Made a video earlier, and I'm going to tie this to it and redo. I just watched, as all this is going around, I just watched some Vegas Matt, his video today, and I'm going to tie a clip into the message. It's not. I watch Vegas Matt too, but what the casino host says when they're asking him questions, I want you just to listen to what they can do. And not necessarily what he says. They don't remove the machines for, paying out too much. But just listen to how he says, I can click on, I can see how much that machine's paid out, I can see who's playing it, how much money they've lost. Just listen to that along with what I had talked to in my previous, or in the video. It goes just hand in hand with all this stuff. I mean, it couldn't be coming out at a better time. So I'm going to tie the link into the messaging. So that you guys can watch that video and listen to what he says when they're asking him the questions. I really can't believe that he said it, but at least he was honest. So tie the link. Check back.